Mozilla, once you lose trust, it takes a long time to rebuild.
Users are furious at Firefox. The CEO made a claim it would become a modern AI browser, and now users are leaving. But what if I told you this wasn't the real problem? There's actually something much worse happening to Mozilla Firefox than AI.
I don't know what could be happening that's much worse to Mozilla than AI, but I can speculate as to why they would even move towards AI in the first place. One of the things I would say is they're trying to improve efficiency in the workforce by utilizing AI. A second thing is them looking at the potential increase in their bottom line. And the third thing I would possibly say is they're probably getting pressured from investors. Because me and you both know investors are always trying to get their return on investment. Not just get the return on investment, but get it back times 10. That's the only way this type of move will make sense to me. Unless I'm missing other stuff.
In 2025, Firefox had been gradually adding all kinds of AI features. They added a sidebar which lets you choose an LLM like ChatGPT, as well as highlight part of a page and ask it to summarize, explain, quiz, or more. Then they added Perplexity, the AI answer engine, to their search. Next, an AI window to chat with an AI assistant while browsing. In another blog, Firefox wrote, "We believe standing still while technology moves forward doesn't benefit the web or humanity. That's why we see it as our responsibility to shape how AI integrates into the web."
I understand why a company like Mozilla is trying to keep up with modern times by incorporating AI in all their features, in hopes that they improve the user experience. But a lot of times, you guys don't communicate with those users with what they want and what they don't want. You guys think you know what they want, and that's where the disconnect lies. You actually end up making the features worse by integrating AI in every single thing. If you really want to improve the user's experience, talk to them, have surveys. It's really that simple. That's how you can improve, not by just integrating AI in everything.
Mozilla has a problem that others don't.
The thing about Firefox, for those that don't know, is that Firefox originally started off as a browser that was meant to be a privacy kind of security-focused browser. It was a browser for nerds by nerds.
It's one thing if Google pushes AI into everything and ruins search, because no one really trusts Google anyway. But this is Firefox, the privacy-first browser. So the bigger question is, why do this? Why move into AI if your audience doesn't want it? Something strange is going on at Mozilla.
Guys, I think it's a monkey see, monkey do type of situation. See, when you look at Google, Google is a lot more established than Mozilla is or ever will be. I would argue that one of the reasons why Mozilla is moving the way that Mozilla is moving today is primarily because it wants to be the next Google. You know how we compare each other? We be like, damn, this dude got a nice car. Damn, that dude got a good house. Damn, I want to be just like them so I can achieve what they got. Companies are doing the exact same thing. Mozilla's doing all this so they can be the next Google and forgetting what made them in the first place.
It began in October 2021 when Firefox Suggest, their newest feature, added sponsored suggestions into the search bar. Honestly, you could do much worse than this for ads. Plus, no data about you was collected or shared. At least, that's what Mozilla implied. Though, some users weren't too happy about it. In particular, this feature was on by default, but that was just the beginning.
That's actually not true. You know when you search on the internet, those search terms that are recommended along your search, who do you think put them there? Yeah, the company. They literally have a specialized algorithm that recommends those search terms, so that way you can click on one and it can make the company profit. You thought that was just recommendations? Nah, that was deliberately put there for a reason. And a lot of times the reason is monetary gain. You can Google it. I wouldn't lie to you guys.
In July 2024, they added Privacy Preserving Attribution, or PPA, a more private way to track ad conversions like a sign-up or purchase without normal cross-site tracking. Sounds good, right? Well, it's still ad tracking in a more privacy-focused browser, and this got them in some hot water. In September that year, NOYB, a European Center for Privacy and Digital Rights, filed a complaint with the Austrian Data Protection Authority against Mozilla for tracking behavior without consent. They argued using PPA turned the browser into a tracking tool. It's a shame that an organization like Mozilla believes that users are too dumb to say yes or no. Users should be able to make a choice, and the feature should be turned off by default.
That's something you can't disagree with. You should always give the consumer the option to turn something on or off. But the problem is, from Mozilla's side, they need PPA because they're supposed to gather information and relay it on to the advertiser so the advertiser can know how many times their ad got clicked. And when they hear that information, when the advertiser hears that information, they feel more incentivized to spend more money with Mozilla. Mozilla essentially wants to keep their financial partners happy, but it comes at the cost of ruining the experience for the consumer, me and you.
But there's still an unanswered question. Why the move to advertising and AI features if your audience likes neither? The answer, as it turns out, is because of Google. You might think of Firefox and Google as opponents, but the reality is a bit more complicated. Firefox uses Google as default because Google pays Mozilla to do so. In fact, they do this for almost all browsers. 86% of Firefox's revenue comes from this deal with Google. That's $510 million out of $593 million.
Isn't it kind of ironic if Mozilla's trying to be the next Google, but Google's the primary reason as to why Mozilla is able to become profitable because it makes up majority of their revenue. If I was Google, I would spot this play right there and then. I'm allocating capital to you guys, making majority of your revenue, allowing you guys to, function, and you guys are basically trying to find a way to overtake me? That's kind of what it is. If you're trying to be the next Google, you have to overtake them.
But this is now at risk. Google was ruled a monopoly in an antitrust lawsuit, and it was doing so by paying other browsers billions to keep that spot. There's no official order yet, but if Google is prohibited from making these deals, then it's bad news for Firefox. Anthony told The Verge, "I do think we need revenue diversification away from Google, but I don't necessarily believe we need revenue diversification away from the browser." That's why Firefox is adding all kinds of products, like VPN, but also AI.
Okay, wow, now this starting to make a lot more sense now. So essentially Mozilla is heavily dependent on Google because Google generates the vast majority of Mozilla's revenue. And when you're that dependent on a company, if hypothetically Google goes down, Mozilla goes down with it. So they're probably thinking, yo, we should add AI to all our features and capitalize off that AI. But the main question I have for Mozilla is including AI in all your features, does it generate the amount of revenue that you receive from Google? And if it's a lot less, it's not worth it.
It's also why Anthony talked about the web moving forward. More and more people are searching with AI. They need to keep up, and the default search function is getting less valuable. Many people don't trust Mozilla with their new direction. So, many are moving to a new browser which is beginning to explode recently, Brave. Brave also has AI features and even advertising. So, why are these users more okay with the Brave and draw the line with Firefox? Well, Brave's monetization, like Brave ads, their VPN, or even AI features, all share the same thing. You can turn on Brave ads to get rewards, which are off by default.
It's kind of crazy when you really think about it. So Mozilla's trying to integrate AI into all their features so they can enhance the user experience. But the users don't want it. And they keep pushing this AI that users don't want. So what happens? Trust starts to erode. And when trust starts to erode, the users start looking elsewhere towards Mozilla's competition. And when that competition has your users, they gain a competitive advantage, which makes them even more competitive. Talk about backfiring.
Agentic browsing is also inherently dangerous. Giving an AI control of your browsing experience could expose personal data or allow agentic AI to take unintended actions. We are offering AI browsing behind an opt-in feature flag in the nightly version of Brave. Like all AI features in Brave, AI browsing is completely optional and off by default. Even if you don't like it or plan on using it, you know the brand promise from the get-go. Plus, you can feel the difference in philosophy.
Dang, my man's really talking about Brave. If I was one of those people that had a bad experience with Mozilla, I might as well look at Brave. And Mozilla can literally avoid all this by simply just listening to their users. Regaining trust takes 2 times, 10 times to gain back, bruh.
Brave's chatbot, Leo, is built in, doesn't retain or share chats, doesn't use them for training, and doesn't even use a login. Firefox uses the existing LLMs, which of course do most of the above. But Brave feels like it's opt-in, while Firefox is feeling more and more like opt-out. The promise with Brave, even if you don't want these features, is upfront, whereas Firefox feels like it's quietly forcing them on users who keep having to turn them off. Mozilla isn't the only one having AI troubles. Microsoft has been begging people to use Copilot, but it's not going well.
The simple solution to any company, not just Mozilla, listen to your consumers. satisfy them by what they actually want. There's nothing really more to it, but I'm gonna have to leave a question to you guys. What do you guys think about Mozilla incorporating AI into all their features? What do you guys think about AI as a whole? And do you have a bad experience with Mozilla? Have you used Brave? Just let me know in the comments. And until then, I love y'all, man. Peace and love. I'll see y'all next time.